Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's morning musings is Life is Unfair. I'm doing a series of daily morning musings, and I'm using posts from my blog as inspiration. Now, I wrote these a while back, and if I encounter anything that is out of date, I will give you the most recent information. At the end, I will summarize the topic based on all that's going on in the world today. And I have some special offers, so stay tuned to the very end to see what they are. Life is unfair. Years ago, there was a TV show called Malcolm in the Middle, and the theme song lyrics went something like this. You're not the boss of me now. You're not the boss of me now. You're not the boss of me now, and you're not so big. Life is unfair. So life is unfair. Life is unjust. Bad things happen to good people. What's up with that? I can tell versions of my life story that paint me as the victim. If I'm caught up in my story of so-and-so did this to me or cheated me out of this or that, I can get really pissed off. However, in order to abide those visions, I have to see life as happening to me. In order to think of life as being unfair or unjust, I have to view these things through the ethics of good and bad and right and wrong. Little babies should not die, be abused, go hungry, fill in the blank. There have been times I have been furious at God for giving me too much to deal with. When we get caught up in issues of fairness or justice, we're viewing the world through limited lenses. We believe that we are powerless over circumstances, that children are helpless, that either we're not in control of our lives or that something bigger than us sits in judgment over our actions. Or we have ethics or expectations that life should be fair. Everyone should be allotted with equal amounts of good looks, good luck, and money. Nice people should win every time because it's bad to die young, to be poor, to be sick, to be uncomfortable. When I'm identifying as my body personality, this physical form that is X number of years old, that weighs so many pounds, that isn't going to make it out of this lifetime alive, I tend to take things very seriously. It's better to live a long life because bodies don't like to die. Bodies don't like to feel uncomfortable either. Bodies are physically separate from other bodies, so comparisons can be made. Differences can be threatening, but we aren't our bodies. We're not our personalities either, however unique and special they may be. We are consciousness. Consciousness is all of this, and it's bigger than all of this. As consciousness, we created everything. We created form, we created our vehicle, and our storyline. We dove into our bodies and our lives with the enthusiasm and excitement of an expert thespian, rearing for the role on this worldly stage. At one level, you can look around at others and realize their consciousness too. They are powerful creators. The more complicated the storyline, the more capable they are. You created being born, and every aspect of it from your parents to location. An infant is actually a very powerful being. Consciousness perspective is neutral, expansive, and amused. It's easy to be amused when you never die and all you feel is pure joy. From consciousness perspective, unfairness doesn't make any sense. Injustice doesn't exist. Everything just is. Things happen or they don't happen. You experience this or you experience that. In fact, everything is happening. All possibilities and outcomes are happening simultaneously. If you can imagine the most complex online video game in which every plot is already anticipated, that's what life is. An aspect of you is experiencing this version, and in a parallel universe, you're experiencing another version. And in another one, the exact opposite. We make things more painful and difficult for ourselves when we color our lenses with ethics and expectations. If it shouldn't be the way it is, then it wouldn't be. It would be something else. However unhappy your body and personality is with the current state of affairs, you, as consciousness, is gleeful. It's really, really fun to roll in the mud of existence. Feelings are delicious, even the densest ones. Life isn't fair, nor is it unfair. Neither is it unjust. Life just is. This is such a juicy topic because we're in a time of even more extreme polarities, and there are things that are just definitely that is wrong or that is bad. And I personally believe that it's because there's greater light coming into the world, the light of consciousness. Greater consciousness is coming into form which means that each one of us is embodying our light, a greater amount of our own light individually, and tuning in collectively to the greater collective light. And all this light is pretty bright, and it's also shining light on the darkness and the people who like sitting in the darkness. The people who like sitting in the darkness are feeling really uncomfortable because all that light is hurting their eyes, and it's your fault that their eyes are hurting. So it is really shining a light on the things that are dark and uncomfortable. And it's also shining the light in each of our lives of things that have been dark and uncomfortable. We've all lived through painful things, and collectively, we've lived through some pretty painful things, especially in the last few years. And every day you also hear in the news of horrible things that have happened to people. So I can struggle with this because little babies shouldn't die, and little babies are helpless. And yet I have two kids who are now adults, and I'll have to say they were pretty capable beings coming in. They both created very unique births. They created very unique childhoods. It was not all fun and roses for either of them. And yet I can see that both of them are infinitely capable beings that created their road trip through life. And I just contributed some driving lessons, and now I get to contribute just, I guess, my presence. Oh, here's the other thing that caught me. I said, when we get caught up with issues of fairness or justice, and yes, I really am watching the news and watching various legal court cases, and there should be justice. And I'll have to say that it is interesting to watch the process of justice. I didn't grow up in the United States, so I didn't really understand government or their legal system. I've been learning a lot. I follow somebody on YouTube who is a former New York trial lawyer, so she's been doing a great job explaining all of these things. And the process of justice in a democracy is not easily black or white. There is the rule of law, and there are some specific guidelines, and yet there's a tremendous openness to allowing people to have a fair trial, even when they're sleazy. You just know that that person's wrong, but it's amazing to watch the process happen. And then from my spiritual standpoint is the truth always comes to light. We're watching right now consequences of actions. So I will have to say what really helps is to step back and view this from the bigger picture, view this as consciousness, and then you can see your creation of it, your participation in it, and see greater possibilities for the future. And it really does help you experience more joy, enthusiasm, and creativity for manifesting things in your life as well. So if you like these videos, please click the like button and subscribe. And that way it tells YouTube to share this far and wide and get this information out to someone who really needs to see it. Also, please share it with your family and friends and on your social media. And if you want a free sample of one of my consciousness techniques, click on the link below to the skybox technique. It'll give you that consciousness perspective of what's going on in your life and in your world today. And if you want some manifestation techniques, I have a self-study course called Manifesting Money and Miracles. And there you can learn how to work with energy frequencies to completely change your external circumstances. And if you want to know more, my website is joan-newcomb.com. There you can learn about my individual sessions where I take a look at the essence of who you are as consciousness and all the things going on in your life today. And then I can answer any questions that you might have, whether it's about love or money or the future, your job, if you're planning a move. I also talk to dead people, and it's all recorded just for you. And if you want to learn how to navigate life as consciousness for yourself, Manifesting Money and Miracles is a great preparation for my coaching special, where I work with you one-on-one and give you specifically chosen consciousness techniques so that you can transform your life. So go to my website, joan-newcomb.com, and I'll see you tomorrow in another Morning Musings.